Here's a fine example of a rather scarce Watling roll-a-top slot machine. This is a three-reel slot, obviously from the late 1930s. A few things that are rather striking about it, and then on closer examination you start to see some rather unique features that all come together on this machine. The first is that this version is called the Bird of Paradise, and you see that there's a magnificent casting at the top with the bird, and there's more ornate castings here at the bottom. What's also very special and unique about this machine is that the finish here, the lacquer, the gold lacquer, is the original lacquer that's all intact and in really superb condition. Original lacquer here on the eagle and on the other finishings for the machine. So it's a pristine, unrestored example. If you think about the date of this from the 1930s, mid to late 1930s, having an original 25-cent denomination also makes this a rather special specimen. But really what tops it off, in addition to being a pristine Bird of Paradise higher denomination machine, is the fact that it has three special additional features. The first is the addition of the skill stops, which allow the player to try and manipulate the stopping of the reels according to when they push the buttons. The second is the gold award, and you see the gold award coins here, and one of the symbols up here at the top, you can barely see it, but if three of those gold award symbols were to align in the center, one of these coins would be triggered out, and that would give a special bonus to the player. And then lastly is the presence of the vendors in the front. And sometimes these were clear, they had clear glass to show the mints inside. Other times, and it's particularly later, when operators stopped putting mints into the vendors because they were frankly pretty impractical. They only held a few rolls, and someone sitting at the machine with every pull, if they wound up emptying the vendor of all of its mints, it was pretty much the end of it. So rather than try and attract people to use to dispense the mints, they just changed out these center panels and covered it up so that it was a feature, but it was something that was promoted much less aggressively. So what we see here is just a great example of essentially an early Bird of Paradise with all the bells and whistles, as it were. When you play the machine, pretty standard play, and one shy of a nice payoff there. So there's obviously the dual jackpots, which is classic configure. Oh, we'll get a payoff here. So because we had the two cherries and a bell, we actually got 5 quarters, and they're all here. Nice payoff, and you can see here there's a gold award and a gold award symbol on these reels. Again, lining those up would have the gold award trigger. What we also get with each play is we can turn this handle, and then you see that roll of mints comes out. So we only get one per play. Fell out. And with the second play, as we turn the reel, we see that another roll of mints gets vended out of the left-hand side. Let's try and use the skill stops here. As we pull the handle, you have to be kind of quick about it. There's the 3, but unfortunately I stopped that one a little too quickly. Let's see if I can try it again with the skill stops. Once again I'm off. There is a little lag between when you push the button and when it actually stops. Seems to be hovering around this 2-cherry payoff. I'm not going to get anything there. But anyway, you get the point of how the skill stops work. Obviously, Watling wasn't afraid to add them as a feature because, as you can see, at least from my experience, they really don't help you in trying to change the odds. So, again, this is the late 1930s Bird of Paradise Watling roll-a-top 25-cent 3-reel slot machine.